Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And you guys, let's go to George Borrello, New York State Senator. George, everybody's talking about this. J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon putting out a blunt message to Mamdani saying, I don't care what he says, and stop driving everybody away from New York. What's your reaction, George?
Well, look, this is coming from the fact that, the mayor has not led anything in his life. And now he is the head of the largest, perhaps most important city in the world, that is the financial center of the world. And he is actively engaged in driving out those economic engines, those powerhouses like J.P. Morgan. And we're seeing the result of that. Your previous guest was just talking about the scourge of socialism. And this is what you're seeing in action. He is not only too young to remember how socialism spread like cancer, the Mamdani, but he's been indoctrinated himself, in this Ivy League idea that somehow that America should move towards socialism and communism, and we're seeing that. It is that capitalism is the enemy, but capitalism is what drives New York's economy, and the finances are the Wall Street and the financial sector is the single largest source of income between the income that we receive from the industry itself and the personal income tax that it generates. So this should be a stark warning to New Yorkers that the Democratic Party has been compromised. It has been taken over by socialists and people like Mamdani, who have not had enough experience to be able to understand the tremendous damage they're causing. And I'm glad he has spoken out. We've heard it from other folks like himself, job creators, economic drivers, that they have become, at their wits' end with Mamdani and with the socialist agenda of the Democrat Party,
George,
especially here in New York State.
Senator, I said the same things yesterday. I was on Fox Business with Varney yesterday. I was with Maria on Tuesday, I think. And they're going to be nice, but they're going to keep reducing the exposure in New York City into Florida or Texas. And I said that about our company, Red Apple, that we will reduce our exposure. Why keep all our eggs in one basket?
Yeah, we're going to get George just dropped off for a moment, but that was a great point, John, that you made on Maria Bartiromo, where you said, you're looking at Florida, you're looking at a lot of places. Why would any business person take a risk?
And the governor, I understand the governor of New Jersey wants to see me. Look, I'll see anybody.
Absolutely.
And there's a lunch set up, and we may move some offices to New Jersey.
Wow. That says a lot, George.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, we've already seen the flight of the financial sector and so many others to other states. There are now more J.P. Morgan employees in Texas than there are in New York. And again, states like nearby states like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, which are not exactly what I would call red states, that's for sure, but they at least understand the value, and they're not committed to killing the golden goose like Mayor Mamdani and Governor Hochul are. That's the real challenge here, is for people to understand that this is not even so much about Republican
George, Senator, I'm trying to understand. The governor's office this morning sent me that text about getting rid of that $1 million situation. We tried to have one of our real estate people on to explain it. Do you think any more about it than anybody else?
Well, we haven't seen the final what the language is going to be in the final adopted budget. We just voted on our second budget bill, actually really the third, and we still have 8 more to go. So we will see what what is hidden in the language and how it actually plays out. But the bottom line is that they can try to explain this however they want, but when you start talking about doing things that are going to essentially drive people out, and you can call it social justice, you can call it something, the fairness, whatever buzzword they use. But what they have done is, as was said by others in the recently. They're creating demons here out of the people that are the producers. They want to demonize folks because that's how socialism works. You have to have a boogeyman, and the boogeyman are capitalists, and you can try to justify it, but when you're creating class warfare and trying to pit people against one another, it never works out well. That's the bottom line. This will never work out well. It hasn't worked out well anywhere in the history of the world.
Judge Weinberg.
So, Senator, what's the status of Kathy Hochul and the state legislature Democrats' bill on sanctuary cities and sanctuary states?
Well, the breaking news for you, I just literally left the chamber, and it was passed in both houses to essentially make New York even more of a sanctuary state.
Oh, my goodness. So wait a minute. So hang on one second. I want to do breaking news on that because that is big.
Breaking news, WABC.
Tell us again. Go ahead. So it just passed. Explain what that means.
Yeah, so so the budget bill that we dealt with today in both the Senate and the Assembly included no longer cooperating with federal immigration authorities here in New York State, making it illegal for local governments to cooperate with the federal immigration authorities, essentially saying that we must provide services to people regardless of their immigration status, protecting those, even those that have committed crimes against New Yorkers will be protected.
And you know what Tom Homan says? Make my day.
Exactly.
But you know what, though? That's the problem, John. They want to bring the chaos that we've seen in other parts of the country, like in Minneapolis, to New York. Right now, we have people are being turned over to immigration officials every day by local law enforcement, and it's done so in a controlled environment inside our jails and other facilities in places like Nassau County and other counties that have what are called 287G agreements with the federal government. Now those will be outlawed now here in New York State. Does that mean that Tom Homan's going to stop? No, that means that they're going to be acting out.
They'll have to pick them up on the streets. That's what it means.
Exactly. So I guess my Democrat colleagues were jealous of the chaos that they've seen in other areas.
And they want to bring it. Oh, my goodness. Well, this is a mess. That is a darn right mess. George Borrello, thank you so much for that update. We really appreciate it, sadly, for you to share that news for New York.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. George, thank you.
Thank you.